Hey guys, it's Bianca Sophia. I'm coming back to finish the rest of that transcript. I don't even know if I said that right. Like, I don't know what's wrong with my voice today or my reading skills, but I've had to, like, this is like the 4th time I'm trying this. I don't know what's going on with me today. It's like, I just don't know. It's weird. All right, let's see. Of course, I had everything set up and I lost it now again. All right, let me find it. Okay, closed down creations. All right. They are reminding me that a lot of times creations are just closed down. Because as weird as this sounds, it's like even at the creator God level, nobody knows what's going to happen. It's like there's an explosion of creation, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So when it returns back, it can literally be closed down. Now, the issue with this particular universe structure had to do with a beyond humongous level of consciousness that we can't even describe. This raw consciousness, whatever it is like a sun. And it has this consciousness that has been exploded into billions of bits and fragments. Again, whatever happened with the explosion that created the separation of the two suns, this merging back into the source, was to be achieved through the human being. And that was why the human being was created. Because the alchemy that was needed to return this part that exploded off, it's like looking at a black hole. It's looking at a sun that burnt out, exploded, or imploded on itself. And it became like a black hole suction. It became like a vacuum on itself. The thing is, the vacuum of that exploded star that went in the other direction, the propulsion, the propelling of the mass, this is probably why they asked me to study physics 5 years ago. I'm sorry, you guys, I probably would understand these concepts a little better. What happens when a sun explodes or implodes on itself? What I can see is that it imploded on itself, and when it went in the implosion, it went in the reverse, and it spiraled. I mean, the propulsion of it was massive. It's like looking at a rocket ship propulsion out of the atmosphere. It went in the other direction, and the force of that implosion exploded it in a reverse direction. And this is where we are. This is the place of the universe we're in, attempting to reclaim all the stuff, the fragments, the consciousness. Okay, humanity's purpose in creation. The only way that this could be salvaged and reunited was through the human being. Because the human being was polarized. It was designed to work with both sides. So, we would collect because our job is synthesis. We are both in this realm where we are now. We are in the neutral as we remember the source of our God creation, which is the neutral wholeness of completion before it split off. We are now merging those sides. So, in helping us to understand the purpose of the human race at a larger level, the warring consciousness and misinformation and dramas that ensued because of it, and literally having this larger understanding that the human being is a God being. And this created, I guess, a lot of the stress or conflicts, because that was the whole issue. What the human being is and its potential was not what the other forms were experiencing. So the fact that we in this body have the ability to be gods is something very unusual at this level. But this was necessary to collect and heal and bring home everything that exploded through that wall of time. And the human body is the only vessel that does this. That is what is so unique about the creation of this form. It is that it was directly designed to heal the universe back into its source. So this form that we are in is basically as dense as it gets, so that we could collect everything. Merge, collect, synthesize, integrate all of the fragments, debris of consciousness that were once a vast, mighty being of such a level of consciousness that we can't even fathom it. That is obviously a part of all of us. and that which we are. But it's almost like at this level of raw consciousness, understanding that everyone is Melchizedek. Everything is one spirit. Everything is raw. In the reclamation of the raw consciousness, in the reclamation of the one spirit, the human body was designed to synthesize the one spirit back into the one spirit from what had happened. Whether it was planned and a part of everything or not is another thing that's probably hard to even ponder and understand. Is it a part of the divine plan? I suppose so. But in terms of creator wanting to experience everything, possibly. Sophia's like, yes, it was part of the divine plan. Yes, that's what she's saying right now. She's like, oh yes. It all happened for a reason. Thank you, Sophia. Excuse me. What I'm seeing in that this configuration was new, even at a universal level. However hard that may be to say, this structure of this universe and this polarization of the two suns and what went on between the wall and time, what they're basically trying to show us is this isn't something that went on in other universes. Like in other universes, the structure of creation is not like this. Whatever this is in this creation, in this universe, is very unique and very special. And is one of the reasons why it was not shut down, why it wasn't returned back to source as just space dust units. Because of this specific purpose of the creation of what a human being was meant to do and be, is something that is apparently amazing beyond this universe and beyond what we can fathom as creation. That the beauty, whatever has gone on to create the genetic material of the form of a human being, they are just imprinting to me how beautiful, how amazing, and how unique and special it is. The other universes and many forms do not have this. This is something very unique and different. So again, in understanding the larger purpose of the body, it is the physicalization of the body as it is born and made of the two suns that allow the merge to occur. And that merge heals the universe. When we merge in the bodies eventually, the star seeds that are here, the beings that have come from other universes to be part of this experiment. We are here to merge the two suns back into the wholeness. And this is not working with an understanding that this is impacted at universal level. At that universal level, healing is only made available and achieved through a human physical form, period. Okay, wow. You know how we're doing all that healing around the Vesica Pisces bi-wave architecture, and we were discovering that as a universal level, there were reverse monads at the level of consciousness? Now, I'm seeing it through the wall of time that it happened. Levels of ourselves got trapped in the other place and became reversed. And as they were reversed, they were unable to evolve back. It was like they were just fragmented. This is like we were experiencing ourselves, and I'm unclear about when we became consciousness and gender. I'm seeing masculine and feminine principle, but I'm seeing that there was, I don't know if this is androgynous or completion. We were talking about how the Vesica Pisces structure comes into the union and completion. There is something that is being worked through in your body about healing the reversal, healing the negative on itself. This implosion, something had been healed from a reversal. I am getting very clearly that that wall in time needs to be sealed before the neutron window opens. There's something about when the turquoise light and the zero field fully anchors or something. This seems to be healing or working with those reversal fields simultaneously in order to lock on with the phase lock situation. When that particle conversion happens, that energy, well, it's almost like looking at an umbilical cord. It will just be cut off and swept into oblivion. I don't know where it will go. It's almost like seeing a wormhole. It's like we're in this container and then seeing this explosion. And there's like a tunnel and then there's an opening, like a larger bubble tank. But it's like a thin membrane and it explodes open. It looks like the membrane will just chop off when the neutron window opens because there is a force. a propulsion and a force. When this energy starts pouring into our tank, so to speak, or into these dimensions, again, the propulsion of this force is just massive. Okay, Rock Confederacy or Guardians. Now, forgive me ahead of time if I get any of the pronunciations wrong on these words, because it's like, some of them are just like, what? You know? So I apologize if I get them wrong. All right. My exposure to the Ra families was being taken through the 14th Gold Ray and the 14D portal sometime during 2005 and then again in 2007 with Akhenaten. I traveled there to the next universe, and we had a gathering where communication was not verbal but in color wave and code transmission. As many of us can attest, this form of communication is like getting imprinted with a ton of multidimensional language with an incredible amount of information in a few seconds. And it is impossible to express that linearly and in words to give a complete meaning. However, what was impressed upon me up there was that there is a problem with the raw extensions in this lower universe. We are in a phantom section of the universe, and that there are trapped levels of raw families that are entwined with the seraphim and gold ray issues with the Earth and other planets. Think of infiltration problems with Golden Eagle grid, like in Iraq and Iran. The seraphim branches have severe problems with reptoid Belial programs, Melchizedek, and other avian hybrids that created problems with them evolving through alien hybridization and stealing genetics. During Egyptian times, a lot of damage was incurred by the lower Ra entities who descended further, and some of these extremely negative branches are called Horus Ra entities, and they were working with the control of the sun and solar system. Many of them were abducting humans and exploiting them. They seem to have relationships with these Anunnaki factions in the Middle East. Oh, and just to let you guys know about the Anunnaki, how they're trying to take credit for creating the humans. That is a bunch of bullshit. I'm telling you right now. And that's another video I made. I've made another video about that, but I haven't been able to get that one up either. Remember when someone wins a war, right? What do? It's called book burning. They burn all the books, all the texts, all the old history, all the galactic history. I'm just telling you what happened. And then they rewrite history, right? And they're going to tell their version of the story. And they're going to leave the stuff that's important out because they don't want you evolving, okay? The Anunnaki are the ones that disconnected our DNA, right? Well, I can't even say that. Remember, it's us, the lower versions of ourselves, are the bad boys and girls of ourselves, right? They disconnected the genetics because they were jealous of the human, right? Remember, they got preferential treatment, but they didn't realize the humans were there to save them, right? So what did they do? They were stupid and they made a mistake and then the fall happened. But like I said, we can't even get mad at them because that's us. That's our dark side, right? That's the inverted part of ourselves that did that. Shame on us, right? We need to spank ourselves, right? Wow. They really don't. Get this out here. I'm telling you. All right, so, meaning myself. I love when Halo said that. It was so funny. I'm coming back down here to kick my own ass. Oh, that shit cracks me up. Oh, what is this laugh? That's great. I love it. Okay. When it gets crowded in your body, it's like all these different laughs come out, and they're all trying to come out at the same time, so it starts sounding like a dying cow or a dying horse, right? Okay. Because that's not my laugh. Like, I haven't heard my real laugh in like a long time. Well, I have, but but ever since I've merged, it's like my laugh is changing. Isn't that weird? I love it. Okay, sorry you guys. Let me get back to it. So in my experience, the Rock Confederation is a part of the Guardian Alliance that exists through the 14th dimension and the 7 higher heavens, and has a major project in finding all their gold ray aspects that got lost down in the phantom dimensions and have reptile hybridization problems. This is starting to sound familiar, right? I love this shit. They are linked into the consciousness family of the seraphim. So they have all the genetic damage to deal with in relationship to the Golden Eagle grid and repairing horizontal grids in their respective time fields. It is a part of our mission in energetic synthesis to help the Gold Ray and Seraphim families be retrieved and have opportunity to heal all of the related issues so they can return home to their families. Oh my God. Oh my God, you guys. I'm getting emotional again. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. Okay. The Rock Confederation through the Next Universe works with us in relationship to this part of the planetary emancipation grid work and Ascension Plan B projects. There are extensions of this Ra family in the lower dimensions that we do not communicate directly with. This is because they are infiltrated with reptoid genetics and can leak information back to the reptoid groups. These are entities that are feathered serpents, like Quetzalcoatl. I can never say that damn word. I've tried 100 times. I can never say it. Quetzalcoatl or Quetzalcoatl. You know who I'm talking about, right? Okay. And these entities have destroyed themselves through blood sacrifices and partaking in these horrific behaviors. For this reason, to denote the Ra families outside of this universe, I refer to them as the Ra Confederacy or Ra Guardians, which consist of many unified groups that has many arms that handle a variety of grid projects related to these issues of the Gold Ray and how they impacted synthetic timelines and the masculine principle in the lower dimensions. There is a branch of the Rock Confederacy that administer to rehab fallen entities that have to face their authority to remove certain quarantines. They are a governing body that decide if a group, individual, or family has balanced their power abuses in order to remove quarantines such as... Stop doing that, please. I swear that's Halo, you guys. Can you please be nice, Lucy? Please, thank you. All right. To remove quarantines such as the 666 seal. Oh, how interesting, right? 666. Lucy, it's you, isn't it? All right. Ra Guardians. In conclusion, this is an extremely volatile year, which defines that the many conflicts raging in the interdimensional planes over controlling timelines, recovering stolen creation code, and mass psychological operations being carried out against the public to maintain inverted systems programmed into artificial intelligence. The Crystal Star Guardians have returned during this cycle to reclaim their creation code that was hijacked in the Phantom and assimilated into the Na artificial intelligence systems and false timelines. Effectively, the family of Ra has become more visible this year while organizing this project to help recover the Law of One records that were assimilated into the AI systems, which the black hole entities use to holographically project the upside-down world of inverted systems that we have come to know on the 3D Earth. The blue avians are extensions of the family of Ra and have been in contact with many of their human lineages on the Earth since Egyptian times to help catalyze its revelation of truth. Hence, they also have allowed themselves to become more visible to the alternative and truth-seeking movement recently. The inversion of the Law of One creation code was given by the Na groups of power to power up these reversal networks and inverted systems. This is the foundation our current civilization is based upon, and it is what the secret societies and usurped mystery schools are based upon. Further, these inverted systems were built upon the reversals to hide the mass harvesting of human loosh for the negative entities, which I've talked about before, right? When I speak of those fourth dimensional beings, the darker aspects of ourselves, right, that are siphoning energy, that's what it's called. It's called loosh. Okay, it's gross. It's disgusting, right? And the physical, it's blood. It's the DNA when they're literally drinking the blood of, Ildren. Yes. Okay. Okay. What I'm going to go on to next is, let's see here, Lyra, right? Okay. Cradle of Lyra. During these critical events happening on the Earth now that have open access into previous timelines, we are going back in time to observe humanity's original seeding and genetic ascendancy that is sourced directly from the Cradle of Lyra and the Lyrans through trans-time connection. If we can do our part to stay out of fear and continually choose love and peace, we can create a link through time in which our present timeline can phase lock into the future timeline of the Christos realignment, where spiritual freedom and human freedom have already manifested. These destructive events of human genocidal campaigns and Holocaust, which have haunted our race for millions of years and the galactic history, will lose their power over our future destiny and will cease to manifest in the present time, which is occurring now clearly, you guys, right? I love this shit. All right. Royal Houses of Lyra. The royal houses were constructed upon 3 white holes in the core of 3 pre-matter planetoids in the Cradle of Lyra that reflected the solar logos body of 12D Lyran sun from the combined unified threefold flames of the cosmic trinity. These were liquid light pre-matter forms in a spherical domain, which in its entirety held the architecture for the solar logos and the living matrices for the Christ mind, Buddha mind, and Avatar mind. When aspects of the cosmic trinity passed through the white hole, the unified consciousness was broken down into the lower dimensional vibratory frequencies which make up each dimensional spectrum. Each dimensional frequency band had originally experienced itself as fully unified with source and whole, and this process created a different point of consciousness awareness located in another spectrum of frequency. All right, Lyran Avatar Matrix. The 4th harmonic universe is the Avatar Matrix that includes the Cradle of Lyra and the histories of invasion which led to the fall of Lyra. For human beings, these consciousness bodies exist throughout the densities and are aspects of the higher self and light body. These aspects are called the stations of identity. In the 4th harmonic universe, in 10D, 11D, and 12D, exist the 3 layers of the Christos Avatar Matrix. Okay? In the 4th harmonic universe, in 10D, 11D, 12D, the future Earth blueprint is its crystalline form, and exists the 3 layers of the Aramatana or Aurora Earth Matrix. So, I just spoke to Michael L. Well, it's not really speaking, it's like telepathic. I can't explain it. It's a constant wave of consciousness that's in my consciousness, if that makes sense. So it's like his thoughts come through like as if they're my own, right? But they're not. It's like if someone had access to your consciousness, right? Like that they were literally in there with you, right? Talking with you. Yeah. So what he's telling me is that the divine feminine. Now, I don't know if this goes with every single divine couple. I'm not sure if that's but what he was telling me about when it comes to him and myself and old Michael, myself and Lucifer. Hold on, I'm smoking, of course. That in order for these 2 brothers to, excuse me, to remerge, right? I was that bridge, right? Because I'm their counterpart, their feminine side, right? And in this reversal place that we're in right now, the feminine was taken out, right? Like I've mentioned before, they've taken the feminine out of everything, right? She's not mentioned in the Bible, like Mary is. The Marys are, but that's, they don't even, the archangel, the female archangels aren't mentioned anywhere, but that's what happens when, like when I said, when the Na took over this planet, they changed the history, right? Because they don't want us evolving, like I mentioned a little earlier, right? They did not want the feminines to become knowledgeable about over their power, right? So apparently Seraphim Michael told me that I was the key to bringing these two brothers, the son, right? The son, and then the son that through the explosion and then the implosion, right? The reversal, right? So it's like the negative part of Michael, right? The opposite of Michael is Lucifer, right? So in order for them to come back as one, they needed that softer side of themselves, which is the feminine side of themselves, right? The loving and the compassionate and the healer, right? Excuse me. So I was apparently the key to them becoming one again, right? And then also me merging with them, which as one, they become the Seraphim Michael, which is at the top. So at the top you have the Divine Mother, which is Sophia, right? Which that is my highest self, okay? That's my higher self. And then we have the Divine Father, which is the Christos soul essence, right? Which she birthed with the help of him, right? And that's how this all began. That's how the cosmos began, right? So as they step down in density and to do all this craziness, because they're fucking crazy, right? Who does this? We do, I guess, right? We're fucking nuts, right? Excuse me. So they step down or they stepped up. It depends on how you're looking at it, right? You have you had Michael and Halo, right? And remember, they were in they had their centaur experience. That was one of their first experiences, right? And remember, he talks about, I hope if you've been listening to my videos, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, you need to go back to the beginning and listen. So remember that the centaur experience that they were in, they went into the star, right? Which is what? The womb. Went back into their mother's womb, right? And then when they come out as a new form, right? Just to have a new experience, right? Or a new incarnation, what have you, right? Excuse me. So I think this was Lyra, right? But remember also the Divine Mother also stepped down because she wanted to also be a part of it, right? So that when this explosion of Lyra happened, right? At the same time with this transcript, and also Michael Ellis told me that explosion happened at the same time at a micro level. The implosion happened of Terra, right? So it's like when that sun exploded, right? Or whatever exploded in Lyra, right? The sun became two, right? And then that implosion happened because her heart imploded, right? Sophia's or Faith's heart imploded, right? So you have the two suns were separated, so they fragmented, right? So Michael stepped down and he became two instead of one, right? So now he is Hela, Lucifer, and Archangel Michael. So the two archangels, okay? We have Archangel Michael and Archangel Hela, Lucifer, right? There's two beings now, right? But at the same time, Hela, Lucifer imploded, right? Her heart, Sophia's heart imploded, right? So then Lucifer also became two, which was me and him, right? So it's Faith, Archangel Faith, and Archangel Hela, Lucifer, right? But then, like, Michael has said, and Archangel Michael and both of the brothers have said that, Michael also ended up coming in here anyway. So it just became more fragmented and more fragmented and more fragmented because they were trying to save their family members, right? The Seraphim. Yes? Okay. So when they re-merge back together, so basically the Christ one, right? Is, like I said, the Divine Mother is Sophia, the Divine Father is Christos. So their soul essence is Michael and Halo, right? And also the Divine Mother, which is Sophia. So when they're merged, I hope I'm making sense. So when they merge when we're remerging. We've already remerged, right? I don't know if you guys remember that video I made where Sophia and Faith and Isis all came through and they did that ritual in my backyard, right? That really icky one, yeah. That was to awaken the Christos, right? To reawaken him, because he was in a slumber. He was kind of like frozen in time, so he didn't get distorted all the way, because part of him came back into here, remember? Part of him came here, but there had to be a part of him that did not get distorted, right? To save this, to make sure everything went okay. So with that ritual, Michael is telling you now that yes, that was what happened. That I came into sacred union, remember, with Archangel Michael. Then I went into sacred union with Halo Lucifer, and then the three of us brought back Michael, right? So, which is a merging of the three of us, you guys. So at the highest level, we are Archangel Michael, Archangel Halo Lucifer, and Archangel Faith as one being. And that's why the seraphim have 6 wings, because it's 3 angels merged. Do you understand? I hope I'm making sense. It's so complicated because of all the fractalizations, and there's so many bits and pieces of us out there, right? Now, I'm not sure if all the seraphim, if it's 2 males and 1 female, but I'm thinking that is the case. The female represents the middle, right? Because well, when it comes to the seraphim, like I said, they're like they're a dragon. Okay, they are dragons. Okay, they're also seraphim, but they're also dragons. They can shapeshift, right? So, and what Michael showed me was, so like Archangel Faith or Sophia is the middle, is the body of the dragon, right? And then the right wing is Michael, and the left wing is Halo, right? But together, that dragon makes up the dragon, right? Michael, right? Or seraphim Michael. So he can either be an angel with 6 wings. We can be an angel with 6 wings, or we can be this dragon, right? I know, it's fucking crazy, right? Yeah, it's crazy. So, sorry, I just wanted to cut in and mention that.
Universal gates. The most powerful universal gates in our system, which relate to controlling the operational functions in our time matrix, are those located in the Cradle of Lyra, 12D Aramatana, 11D Avion, and 10D Lyra Vega, along with the 8D Orion gates. The Lyran gates were destroyed during the Lyran Wars, which destroyed the architecture for the solar Logos Christ body in this universal system. And then the black hole entities went to Orion in order to secure the 8D metagalactic core as a military base and AI command control center for themselves.
You guys would not believe the amount of interference I'm facing trying to make this. It's unbelievable, like constant, like a million. Like I've been working on this video since 7 o'clock this morning, and what is it now? Let me see. 7 o'clock at night. 12 hours, you guys. 12 hours of interference. It's unbelievable. Like, all right. But yeah, I'm not gonna stop. So you can try all the fucking interference tricks you want. I'm not gonna stop. So let's do this. Like, come on, bring it. Fucking bring it. Sorry, guys. Shields up, swords up. Let's get it.